Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Nanatsu no Taizai Imashime no Fukkatsu, which is on episode 15, or you could call it the 7 Deadly Sins Revival of the Commandments on episode 15. Now, this episode here, I thought it was pretty cool, not too bad. Although it looked pretty simple in a certain sense for me, so if anything else, let's go. I like to start off with this one part, which is pretty much true throughout the episode, because I always tell what happens in the episode and just recap them. So if anything else, let's go. Let's start the scene with Matrona and Deanne, apparently. We have to it that Matrona tells Deanne that she's doing the dance wrong, and of course, like there's two kids that Matrona's really fond of, teases her by saying she sucks or something, which is really, really hilarious. But we also get to know how Matrona survives, and I'm pretty sure all you anime onlys might be shocked about this, etc. You must be and I'm pretty sure you must be thinking that has to be a little bit impossible, which could be the other possibility, etc. So if anything else, let's just talk about it. We had to it that Matrona says she was saved by this guy named Zappa or Zappel, however you say his name. Oh, I know it's his name starts with a Z, that's for sure. We have to it that after Matrona got hit by a poison arrow and possibly Deanne got taken away, etc., we had to it that this man, Zappa, managed to save Matrona by cutting off the leg that Matrona was hit by a poison-tipped arrow with, and treated her for 3 days and 3 nights without rest, which I go like, I think that is possible, but I don't think I'll be up for that many days. Maybe I'll be knocked out at the night, but that's about it. That's all I can say. But yeah, that's how Matrona was saved, apparently. After Matrona got hit by a poison-tipped arrow, etc., we have to it that Zappel cut off her leg that was poisoned to stop the spread of poisoning and treated her 3 days and 3 nights without rest, which is really, really impressive. And of course, as for Deanne herself, she decides to practice the dance as best as she could, but she also gets a flyer from a freaking blue demon, apparently, which involves a fighting festival, which is held by the two members of the 10 Commandments, obviously, which is pretty much a trap. Like they say, if you win, you get any wish granted. I mean, that I'm pretty sure that would be kind of ridiculous to even believe it, because it's already fishy and common sense to realize they can't just grant you any wish. So it was just a way to bring people in, obviously. Of course, Matrona and Deanne decides not to go because they all know it's a trap. Although Matrona decides to go anyway because a blue demon hurt 2 of Zappa's children, which Matrona is very, very fond of, etc. And we have to it that she decides to go to the tournament to save the children. And as for one of the commandments, which is the blue giant in a certain sense, is called Droll. And we have to it that Gluckshinia even asked Droll how's everything else, to think that they are coming here, good souls are coming in here. But aside from that, we have to it that there is one scene with Meliodas and the rest of the crew who's with him decides to go anyway and have had the best of their lives, etc. Since they can't sense Escanor anymore. All right, here's this one scene right here, that's going to be very important. We have to it that Denzo ends up facing the demon, which is fraudulent in Dreyfus's body, and they are pretty much trapped inside a facility that's supposed to be researched about the demon clan. As for the Deldry and the other 2 men that's with her, they have to keep post or guard or something, which apparently they got tricked after tricked by Grey Road. But eventually, of course, Dezo and Death Pierce does get fraudulent cornered eventually after Dezo used some kind of magic attack that allows Dreyfus or Fraudulent to see the victims he killed, and they will haunt him for the rest of his life till day's end. And of course, Death Pierce, on the other hand, stops his magic, etc., from from being fast or being normal. So it's just say that he delayed his magic attacks. But of course, Fraudrin in Dreyfus's body tries to escape but gets entrapped in the perfect cube. But it gets broken by Grey Road, and Fraudrin introduces them to Grey Road right here, which we have to it that it is one of the commandments, of course. And we have to it that Dezel decides to let them go because when Fraudrin mentioned that he is the commandment of pacifism, he realizes that if we kill Dreyfus here and now, we're just going to be subjected to this demon's commandment. As for Deldry and the other two who wants to go to the fighting festival that's being held about the flyer, etc., we have to it that they met up with Bogdan, the real one, when they realized they got tricked by the Grey Road demon, which managed to transform itself in disguise. And we see to it that Dezel, like I said, lets the two go because Grey Road of pacifism will have an effect on them if they kill Dreyfus or Fraudrin. And we see to it that that Fraudrin and Grey Road walks out of that facility and before Fraudrin goes, he ends up stabbing Deldry and is about to leave, but leaves him a piece of information that he is not the real commandment. He is just a substitute. And of course, like before he could say the name, then it ends up going to Gothler in a sense, just playing with himself, etc. And that's about it. So pretty much in this episode, it's just about Deanna and Matrona talking to each other and getting comfortable with what's going on with them. But at the same time, though, we have to that they decide to enter the fight festival that's being held by the two commandments, Dro and Golokshinia, to save Zappa's children that got hurt by the blue demon. Meliodas and his crew decides to go to the festival as well to have the fun for their lives, as Meliodas would call it. And as for Dreyfus and Denzel that fought each other, we get to know how pretty impressive Denzel is, but in the end decides to let Dreyfus go after Great World of Pacifism comes out because he has a feeling that if they kill Dreyfus or Fraudrin now, then they'll be subjected to his commandment, which is really, really something that they don't want. And therefore, Dreyfus, that's being controlled by Fraudrin, decides to give him a piece of information that he's not the real 10th commandment and he's a substitute. And later on decides to tell him the name later, but it didn't show up, etc. But yeah, pretty much, like I said, simple episode, pretty fun. Next episode is going to be more great. Looking forward to it. Until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alphazero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!